Additions to the agenda? Oh, sorry, Kelly, I forgot to tell you ahead of time.
That's okay.
All right, I'll say welcome again. Any additions or omissions from the agenda, anybody?
We didn't receive any. We're good.
Can I have a mover for the agenda? Mover and a seconder. I'll take Dean and Trevor. All those in favor? And then that looks like everybody. Thank you. It's passed, carried. Minutes from February 7th. Anybody have any errors or omissions for the minutes February 7th? Not seeing any. Have a mover and a seconder for the minutes. I got Dean and Trevor again. I'll do the opposite, Trevor and Dean. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you, everybody. Business rising from minutes. I got nothing in my under the heading there. Airport managers update. Steve, you're good to go.
All right. Hi, everyone. Yeah, just a few things here to talk about. So the projects are well underway. Under the fencing replacement, I voiced a concern over the gauge of wire being used, even though it met the specifications for the MTO that we were using. So we've corrected that problem. I was afraid this lighter gauge fence wouldn't cut it along the road portion where the snow gets pushed up against it. So that's been corrected with the contractor, and we've resolved that. One thing I didn't put in here is Hangar 21. We have Robert St. Marie and a partner who are pretty eager to start. So they're getting some drawings prepared for me, engineered drawings, and looks like they're going to move forward, and we will have a Hangar 21 shortly in the area that we had designated the new area. They've agreed upon the extra fee to bring the power to their own hangar. So that's moving forward. Some operations that have been activity that's gone on here. When some of the projects got started, I recorded all that here. So that's all good. Things haven't changed too much in the other departments. Fuel sales are down. I'm pretty sure that's weather related. It's been pretty tough weather in January and February. And jet fuel is pretty much holding its own as usual. So I'm not sure if anyone has any questions for me or anything like that.
Sorry, I'm talking away. My mic was off. Anybody with any questions for Steve? I don't see any, Steve. Thank you very much. So next is update on the RADI grant.
Okay, so I'm going to start on that, Mr. Chair, and then I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Jane, as well as likely Steve for some input. So the commission will remember that in early February, we talked about all of the challenges we're facing with FedDev Southern Ontario, actually what it's called, in the timelines and the supply chain and otherwise. That's one of the reasons why we delayed the meeting, because we didn't want to have to meet again, depending on if we were meeting timelines or to get resolution from the commission. So first, after speaking to a number of times to FedDev and with the assistance of Explorer, mainly Jason, and with Sade leading the charge, we were able to modify a few things and otherwise and spend all the money in the grant, so $1 million, just over $1 million plus, and get a number of the projects either complete and or near completion. And we're pretty confident that when we report back in mid-April, that we've not only met the timelines, spent the money, and made some modifications that we had no choice on, really. So I'll turn that over to, so thanks to everybody, Sade and Jason from Explorer has been great, and some of the suppliers as well, and of course Steve being on site. So I'll turn that over to you, Sade. It might be helpful with the sharing the spreadsheet.
Thanks, Tim. So as Tim mentioned, we did have a very, very quick turnaround on this project, and I'd like to sincerely thank the team here, including Tim, Kelly, Steve as well, and Explorer for the very, very quick turnaround on this project. As you can see there, it's about slightly less than $1.2 million that had to be spent by March 31st. And to remind everyone, it wasn't just that the money had to be spent, but the projects had to be completed, all the deliverables on site, and all the construction be completed by March 31st as well. So understanding that March 31st is this Friday, it looks like we will be crossing the finish line on all these projects. So I'll briefly go through everything line by line. The first item there, the Capital Enhanced Digital Services. Unfortunately, we were not able to procure the internet and phone connectivity equipment by the March 31st deadline. And so we had decided to scrap this project. And so what you'll see on that spreadsheet is the original contribution agreement amount. And then the revised contribution agreement amount. So the original was 20,000. Unfortunately, the project is unable to be completed. And so the revised is the $0 there. The second item was the capital equipment purchases and installation. We had originally budgeted $150,000 for that line item. Our revised estimate was $165,000. Now, the contribution agreement, and we've been having extensive talks with FedDev on this, but the contribution agreement does allow us to go plus minus 15% on our revised estimate amounts without a substantive amendment needed to the contribution agreement. And so you can see there that our actual purchase price was slightly north of $180,000, which is just under a 10% variance on the 165. And so it does not require any sort of substantive amendment to that revised estimate amount. And the purchase was a Kubota tractor to be used by Steve. And the tractor has been delivered and has been completely paid for. And you'll see the progress percentage there at 100% for that project. The next line item is the capital expertise. So this was related to the terminal architecture and engineering design. Unfortunately, we were unable to complete the project by the March 31st deadline. We were just not going to be able to complete the construction phase. It was a 3-phase project. And so we were just not going to be able to complete the construction phase by March 31st. And so that project was then scrapped. And of course, the original contribution agreement amount of $352,000 was then revised to be spent elsewhere. The next item there is the capital facility construction and renovation. So there's a significant amount of construction and renovation that occurred at the airport. So the original estimate was $609,000, and the revised is $875,000. With the various projects that you see there, we're coming in at just under $840,000. And so understanding that our plus minus is 15%, we don't need a substantive amendment. The first project there is the perimeter fence replacement. The March 23rd update on that is that it was 75% complete. And at this point, I'm going to say that it's closer to 90% complete. There were some fence repairs done in the fall of 2021. So our contribution agreement with FedDev allows us to claim back any projects that were completed post June 1st of 2021. And so this project was completed around September of 2021. And so we were able to claim this project as well. The next the next two are actually related together. So that's the solar power runway lighting system, the key system for the runway lights, and then also the installation of the solar power runway lighting system. So as far as the actual lighting system is concerned, it is currently in transit. And is supposed to be shipped today and tomorrow. Once it gets shipped, it's going to require about a day, maybe a day and a half of installation time. And so you see there that the installation of the solar power runway system, the completion percentage on that is 60% completed as of March 23rd. And the reason for that is there was a significant amount of pre-actual installation work that needed to be completed. And so once the lights arrive today or tomorrow, it would take about 1.5 days to get them properly installed. So we're not expecting any delays there in meeting the March 31st deadline. The next item is the airport entrance gates. So there were 2 entrance gates ordered, and they are again slated to arrive today or tomorrow. As it mentions there, they are a relatively straightforward installation process and can be hooked up and installed the same day of delivery. So we're not expecting any delays on that front either. The security gate opener was a project that was completed in 2021, so that's listed at 100% completed. The terminal trailer actually can be moved up from 95% to 100%. It was delivered and has been paid for. And the last 2 items there are the non-capital expenses and administration and outreach. Both of those items are 100% completed. So the non-capital relates to maintenance, grass cutting, cleaning, and outhouse rental, unit rental fees. And that's been 100% paid for, expensed, and incurred. And the last item as well is the consultant fees for Explorer, and then also some internal municipal costs. So that's 100% incurred, expensed, and paid. So as you can see there, the March 23rd update on the project was that it's about 87% complete. I'm going to say that right now we're well over 90% complete on the project, and we will be 100% completed on March 31st. So as I mentioned, a very, very quick turnaround on this project, and sincerely want to thank everyone for the long days, long nights, and stressful hours that were expended in getting this through to the finish line. Thank you.
Thank you very much today. Was there anybody had anything further on that file to add? Seeing nothing, anybody with any questions for either Tim or today? Not seeing anything. I think congratulations, guys. I know it wasn't simple by the time they actually announced it in the fall. I mean, and I know everybody started right away, but they held us up for 6 months waiting for the announcement, and it was very difficult to get it done. But I think it's great that everybody, was able to rearrange things, maybe change some projects and be able to get it done. So good for you guys and good for the airport.
If I could just add, Mr. that if anybody wants to go out to the airport and have a look, by I would say you can contact go through me, I guess, and then Steve we can set it up if anyone wants to. Steve's often in the air, like today was it today, or were you in the air today, Steve?
Yeah, I was. So my flying's done for the week, so the next 3 days are wide open for me.
Yeah.
I can meet anyone.
But I just want to check it out, and then I think it would be a good idea for anybody who hasn't been out recently to get out and have a look and get a tour. So
yeah,
I'll get a hold of you. I'm likely going to try to make it before the end of the week. We'll just see what my schedule is in the Sugar Bush there, if it's running or not running. So
all right, just let me know.
All right. New business 2022 financials. Who's got that one?
that's today.
Okay, thank you, Tim. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So as far as the 2022 financials are concerned, when we first took a look at the 2022 financials, we had some significant concerns about a variety of different items. And so these items don't just relate to 2022, but also to previous years as well. Specifically with regards to the treatment of tax, so both our HST receivable and our HST payable accounts, ensuring proper revenue and expense recognition. So at this point, all the revenues and expenses for the airport, and this is a long-standing issue that goes back several years, have been recorded on a cash basis, and that's obviously a big no-no. It has to be recorded on an accrual basis. And then lastly as well for inventory tracking. And specifically with the tracking of fuel that's used by the commission at the airport. So there are some significant concerns that we have with regards to the 2022 financials. So at this point, what we've done is engaged with Welsh LLP to provide what's called a notice to reader compilation of the financials. So they're not going to be doing any sort of audit work on the financials. However, they will be compiling the financials into something that can be audited by KPMG, who are the auditors for the airport. I have been having extensive talks with Welsh and with Ms. Christina Morgan, who's the lead on the project, and I'm quite confident that they will do an excellent job in compiling the 2022 financials. In addition to that, there's also the 2022 financial statements presentation that Welsh will be giving once the compilation is done. Again, these are not audited financial statements. These are sort of internal financial statements that will then be presented to KPMG to then get audited. So that's as far as the 2022 financials are concerned, and the compilation engagement with Welsh.
Anybody have any questions for today on that? I'll just to make sure everything's out in the open. Well, Tracy, are you aware of this and you're good with this?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Yes, Sudhir and I have spoken, I think it was last week, on the matter.
Perfect. Just want to
Thank
make
you.
sure everybody's happy. I'm looking forward to it. If there's anything that has been missed, and hopefully maybe something good will come out of this as far as HST. Maybe we can get a little back or something. So I'm good with it myself. Any other questions? Seeing none. 2023 budget.
So thank you, Mr. Chair. As far as the 2023 budget is concerned, we'd like to hold off on the passing of the 2023 budget until Welsh has finished their compilation of the 2022 financials, and we have a really good trial balance ending at December 31st, 2022. So once we know what the ending balances of all of our accounts are, we would like to delay the budget until that has been formalized. So at this point, we'd like to operate on a business as usual basis, where Cornwall and the Township of South Glengarry would be contributing as per the original contribution agreement and sharing expenses as per that original contribution agreement. But we do want to have a really, really good starting point as at December 31st, 2022, to then move forward into 2023 and prepare the budget for 2023. Thank you.
Questions for today on 2023 budget and the delay? Everybody's pretty quiet. It makes sense. So I'll just maybe Tim, a question for you. Do any of these things need a motion to make them official to forward them, or this is just new business, is just information for us? Tim must be there. He is.
I mean, a motion would help just to if you approve. I don't know that we need to write a motion. I mean,
if you want, we could go through all the new business. It's all about financials,
yeah.
And I'll do something at the end just to make sure today and Tracy have something going. Okay, we'll continue on then for filing of 2022 HST.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So as far as the filing of the 2022 HST is concerned, we have engaged with Welsh, as I mentioned, for the compilation engagement, and we'd like to have them complete the HST filing for 2022 as well. So the airport remits their HST filings on a quarterly basis, and it looks like for all quarters in 2022, it was completely missed. So at this point, they're going to be filing the 2022 HST. Thank you.
All right, and then review of the previous 4 years of HST, which is tied right into this one, I see.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, as far as that is concerned, the CRA does allow us to go back 4 years to claim ITC rebates. So again, as I mentioned, we do have some concerns with regards to the tax treatment, both on the HST payable side and on the HST receivable side. However, I do believe it's a positive concern in that we should be getting more HST back, HST rebates back than what we have previously been getting. And so at this point, our recommendation would be to have Welsh complete a review of the last 4 years of HST filings, and we would need some sort of an informal or formal direction from the board for them to complete that review. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudhir, very much. So I'm kind of looking for a motion to combine all of this, that we engage Welch to do the notice to reader and to go over our HST filings for last year and the previous 4 years, and get back to us with a report. Would somebody interested in making that motion? Dean, do you want to word it yourself, Dean, or?
Basically, it kind of essentially follows the new business items. To ask Welsh to do, said what, financial statements, HST, and previous year's filings, essentially. So, if we could follow essentially the new business agenda, to ask Welsh to do set the 3 items that were listed in our new business agenda. Does that make sense?
Yeah, to me it does.
Great.
Do we have somebody that would second that? I see Trevor's hand up. Thank you, Trevor.
I'll second
Uh,
that.
Kelly, I assume you're the one that's writing that up. Do you have something that you could kind of read to us?
Sure,
Putting you on the spot.
You can try.
that's okay. I like using my brain on the spot. Okay, so we have a motion moved by Dean Hollingsworth, seconded by Trevor Bougie, to engage Welch LLP to complete the 2022 financials, the 2022 filing of the HST, and a review of the previous 4 years of HST filings.
Perfect. Nailed it.
All right, everybody's heard the motion. Any discussion on that motion? I don't see any. All in favor? That's everybody. Thank you very much. That carries. So we're down to number 8. Correspondence, City of Cornwall itemized statement of illumination expenses. Is that you, Tracy? Or is that just for information that it was in our package?
Through you, Mr. Chair, it's not my item, but it's something that the city submits to all of its committees, requesting information back from the chair to detail if there were any remuneration or expenses that the city in its capacity of a municipality needs to report.
Right.
I'm not sure if the report has submitted that back to the accounting department as of yet.
So I can speak to that.
Okay.
I received the letter, and because of the delays of meetings, I missed the deadline date. So I called Sylvie and talked to her, and everything's okay. We just have to confirm with the councillors that they didn't receive anything, and we know they didn't through our books. So
We can make it easy for you. We got this.
we're gonna submit that form to Sylvie with a bunch of zeros now that we've had the meeting. Yeah.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Chair, I appreciate that, Steve. We did report to our council already at last evening's council meeting that there was no remuneration or expenses for the airport committee. That's what we've seen in the past.
Perfect.
So thank you.
Thank you very much. I was pretty sure there were none. I know I didn't get any, but I hadn't heard of anybody else get. All right, so that's good. Thank you. Next meeting, April 25th, 4 p.m. by Zoom. Any issues or worries about that? I don't see anything. So thank you very much. Some of these Zoom meetings go fairly quickly. Sorry for the time it took me to get on and delay with the tech part, but doesn't usually happen. So I just want to thank everybody for coming out, and we will see you next time. And Steve, I'll give you a call or come and see.
You need a motion, to
good.
adjourn, Mr. Chairman?
Can I have a motion for adjournment?
So move.
So Trevor and Dean, all in favor? And we're gone. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Hey,
you.
folks.
See you,
Take care.
everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.